Kevin, you motherfucking avatar. You better start the fucking after the show now, motherfucker. Avatar ass bitch.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Alrighty, hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Here we go. It is Friday.
Woohoo! We made it!
That's it, baby. Lookout weekend. Here we come. Well, we got a lot of fun stuff to get to here today. A lot of your emails as well. Cracking into those. Appreciate all of your commentary. Mail at kvjshow.com. One thing that we talked about today on Normal or Nope was taking a bath and taking a shower before to wash off your filth so you're not sitting there stewing in your muck. Now, I don't get this. Tammy said, my response to that is proper bath routine is to bathe. You would soak in the bathtub first, then shower with soap after.
Why can't you do all of it? Why don't you just take a quick little horse bath, or a horse shower, I should say. Where's Rocco at?
He's running around. You're fine.
Let the water just kind of trickle off all the parts, and then take a bath, and then take another quick shower.
Sometimes I will go so hard with the bubbles that when I get out of the bubble bath, I have to get in the shower because I'm covered in bubbles.
Okay.
I used to love staying in the bath too long as a kid. I'm turning old. I'm an old person.
Pruning up.
Yeah.
Now it's too real.
That's way too real.
Yeah, so when you have pruny skin, when you get in the bath, does it actually go straight then?
Oh, Kevin, I wish.
Go the other direction?
It gets even more prunier.
Ooh, that's rough, man. So what, you're just laying in the tub and all the skin's floating on the surface of the water?
It just, not so much that. It's just I don't know, maybe it is. I guess that's, I don't know. I try not to look down after the tub.
Don't look at your filth.
Eyes forward. Got an email here from Jason in Deerfield Beach about pickleball. He said, I keep hearing V say that pickleball is for old people. Maybe that's all she sees. After all, she lives in a community where the average age is death.
You're right. You're right. It's not death. It's like 90.
Well, there you go. Death adjacent.
Death adjacent. Yes. We should put that on the sign out front.
They said if you go by any court in Boca in the afternoon or evening, loads of young people. The mornings, yes, it's mostly old people like us. The evening is for youngsters. I work in Miami Beach, and if you drive by the pickleball courts there at 8 o'clock p on a weeknight, it's like a club. There's at least 100 people there with music blaring and drinks a-flowing.
Okay.
I was playing in Miami Beach one morning, and an attractive young lady asked if I lived around there. I said, no, I just work in the area. In turn, I asked her if she lived on the beach. She replied, no, I live in the art district in Miami, but Miami Beach is the place for pickleball. Okay. There you go. So if you are a big pickleball fanatic, gotta get to Miami Beach, I guess. That's where they're doing it.
June 1st, I can get back into stick games. I want Vicious V and me, ping pong. Bring it.
I'm ready. I beat you at ER Bradley's, and I'll beat you again.
Ping pong, pickleball, name that shit. I'm ready.
I'll beat your balls wherever. You just name the court.
Just lay up and let me win.
Yeah.
The first round.
Right.
Build the confidence back up.
Yeah, we all have to be like, okay.
Good shot, Jay Bird.
Make him feel good. He's on the mend.
We're also talking about some of the reserved parking spaces where some seem more valid than others. Anything from, of course, the handicap to anybody that's doing anything for like Teacher of the Month, veterans. You've got expectant mothers. And I've not seen this one, but Amanda said, I know you guys were talking about this, but I spotted it in Boca. It's reserved parking for people who compliment a stranger. And you notice in Boca, that spot is sitting open because no one in Boca will compliment a stranger.
Never.
They're like, Screw that. I'm not going to park there.
I can't be that person.
That goes against everything I believe in. Being nice to random people.
I scowl at strangers.
Not a chance. That's amazing. That's the only empty spot in the entire lot because no one in Boca will compliment a stranger.
Boca, get it together.
They can. I think they just love it. It's what we are. We have negative, angry energy, and we want to maintain it.
They love it.
They love it there in Boca. Absolutely. Got to Alberto. He said, I heard you talking about the dangers of energy drinks. And I remember when I was 21, I drank 4 full throttle 16-ounce energy drinks on a night out.
Oh, my gosh.
When I got home, I felt horrible. My body was tired, but I couldn't sleep. And the next thing I know, I was hugging the toilet seat and just puking my life away.
Oh.
I highly recommend not drinking in excess, or better yet, try not to drink them at all if you have to.
I could see how that could happen easily. You're like, yeah, I'm out for the night. Boom, 1.
Sure.
Boom, 2.
Right.
And mix it with vodka and really give yourself a crazy ride.
Oh, some ribs too? Yeah, let's eat it. Let's eat, drink, puke now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you got to realize those things. Anything you put in your body, especially the older you get, it has more adverse effects.
No kidding. There's stuff I used to be able to put in my body that as soon as it goes down the old gullet, I'm like, no, bad. It's different.
Yeah, it's wild. It is wild. Yeah, I was a buddy of mine. We've been lifelong party dogs together, and the other night he's like, yeah, I really can't drink much anymore.
Damn.
You know? He's like, just the hangovers are so wicked.
We lost another one?
Yeah.
Do I know him?
Yeah, you do.
Damn.
Yeah, my buddy was in town from Atlanta this week.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Damn.
Party Bert be dead.
Damn.
Yeah.
What a sad day.
Yeah.
You're the anomaly. Most people cannot keep up with you. I get what Bert would be, why you do that, because it's hard to keep up, man.
Yeah, and we used to go hard in the paint. So, you know, it was different days, and yeah, even that version of Kev is kind of dead these days.
The hard in the paint, Kev.
Yeah, I look back, I'm like, I need a week.
Just maybe one day on a vacation at some point with no responsibilities. It'd be nice to wake up party, Kev, just for one night.
I just feel so terrible the next day. I'm like, it's just not even worth it. Like having enough cocktails just to feel good and all that stuff. But yeah.
I'll set you up with an IV, so as soon as you wake up, they're boink.
She wants you to overdrink, Kevin.
Yeah, I don't know. She's bound determined.
If it's the last thing I do.
I want to make sure you overdrink.
I don't want to. I feel terrible. You're drinking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. I mean, I used to, I can't, just ungodly amounts of alcohol.
10 hours was nothing.
If I venture over 5 in like a day now, I'm in trouble territory.
Well, I remember when I first got on the show, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? These guys can really pound some liquor.
Yeah.
You better learn.
Right.
Keep up or get left behind. And look at you. You rose to the occasion.
And collapse at the end.
Yeah. Look at your body now.
Fit as a fiddle.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Got Alberto here, who said, I was hearing the other day y'all talking about Virginia's brother-in-law's situation with his heart. He said, when I was 25 years old, working the graveyard shift in valet, I took some C4 pills and they popped prematurely when I swallowed them, that even some powder came out of my nose.
Oh.
5 minutes later, my heart was pumping out of control. Even my vision was getting blurry. I left and drove to the hospital, and they informed me that they had to give me a shot that was supposed to slow my heart rate, but it did nothing. They had to give me 2 more shots after that to lower my heart rate. They said I should be asleep by now, but the medication was too much in my system.
Wow.
Dang.
I wonder what they shot in there. Was it nitro? Because I know people who have heart problems. If their heart starts to get all erratic, they pop those nitro pills. And from what I understand, those nitro pills work well and quick.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know what they do, but I've heard that.
I've seen him in the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But yeah, it's legit. It's crazy. You were saying that your brother-in-law was kind of giving you a full rundown of what the worst parts were, and some of the things you would think were bad weren't that bad, but then they did a couple shots in his groin, kind of like Denny's got, right?
Yeah. So you guys were asking about his pain. And he said at first there was chest pain, shortness of breath, dizziness, and numbness in his head and arms. But he said at the hospital, they shocked him and it hurt so bad. He said that's when it stopped my heart and I passed out. He said, after that, I flatlined and they shocked me again and did CPR to bring me back.
Okay.
But other than that and the IV.
That's wild. Can you imagine a pain so intense you pass out?
Well, you flatline.
He flatlined.
I mean, technically,
he died.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if he feels anything different going to the other side for a second.
Yeah, what did you see? I'll ask him. Did you see anything?
It may take a while for that to happen. If he says no, the answer could come later on.
Like when you died, could you see in the room? Like, could you see them like giving you the paddles? Because I've heard people say that, like they've been looking down and like watching all this happen, and then somebody says, "It's not your time yet, homie."
Yeah, it's wild. Everybody who's been there or gotten close, they have their own little unique stories. It is comforting. It's nice that peace and calm and joy is it. We were just talking about that Quentin Aaron, I think his name is, the guy who was The Blind Side was based off of him. And he had flatlined and saw a white-haired Jesus and had all calm and said he has no fear of death now.
That's great.
They said people who have near-death experiences, a lot of times if they survive and come back, and most of the time they go, they're just not bitter no more. They don't get upset about things they used to get upset about, and there's kind of a quiet peace about them. And it's almost like they got some answers we don't have.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice to remove any fear of death that you might have.
But then I had an uncle almost died, and he had a heart attack, and he came back, and he did the whole thing where he came back, but he came back an even bigger asshole. And he was an asshole before he had the heart attack.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Some people go the other way.
Yeah, and then he saw the devil.
Yeah. And I got this from Kathleen, who said, yeah, I caught your talk about field trips, but I just want to let you know that in the 8th grade, my law studies class merged with a world history class for some reason, and they took us to a gun range.
Oh, my gosh.
Mind you, none of us knew what we were doing. I just remember being handed a huge gun with my entire class lined up behind me. I shot once and fell backwards and didn't want to go again.
Oh, my gosh.
Can you imagine a field trip like that happening these days with all the school shootings? You hand a kid a gun, he turns around and starts taking people out in his class.
Oh, my gosh.
I have no idea why it was approved, why my parents approved, or this day, what it had to do with any law studies or world history. This was in Martin County, and I believe in 2003. Weird times.
You guys just went out there and shot some guns.
In 2003?
Right.
That's not that long ago.
Not what you would think, at least.
I was thinking, was this the 70s?
It sounded like the 70s.
Damn.
Yeah. Feels like that's what it should have been.
I would not sign off on my child going to the gun range without me.
Well, I think even to Kevin's point, today's day and age with schools and all that stuff, it's bizarre.
Amen.
Now, this actually might be good for your husband, Virginia. I saw Panda was walking around here. And
yes, he's here.
With Martin County Sheriff.
He's got his puffy face from his oral surgery.
Is everyone injured at some level?
We got some torn up members of our team right now. I got a brother-in-law down and a husband down.
Kevin finally healed from his foot injury.
This says, so one of my coworkers was just telling me that she had to question an inmate at the Martin County Jail, and she asked him about his arrest. I guess he was doing something illegal on I-95, got pulled over. He rolls down the window or puts it down. He sees the cop and he asks, Martin County Sheriff? Sheriff's like, sure am. And the criminal says, nope, throws it in gear, hauls ass out of there. Cop finally gets him to stop in Port St. Lucie, and he's all grinning. He said, well, now I can get arrested in PSL. Sheriff corrects him and slaps the cuffs on. I thought Panda could make such a sick PSA video recreating something like it. Guy risks life and limb and additional charges just to get out of Martin County. So Is there a reputation about Martin County versus St. Lucie County that you would so much rather get arrested in Port St. Lucie than in your county?
Kev, our tagline in our podcast is called The Wrong Exit for a reason.
Oh, wow.
They don't
Legit.
play.
Yeah.
So they know, so people know that you do not play in Martin County,
No,
huh?
sir.
Wow. Yeah, your sheriff looks like a pretty serious guy. Does he ever crack jokes, or is he
Nah,
always that way?
He's awesome. When you get him, he's a great guy.
Okay.
He does crack jokes, but takes the job very seriously because he has to.
And he's not goofy like some of the sheriffs.
Right.
He is in there to get the job done and
Very
don't
professional.
play.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Panda's got a mustache now, too. It's amazing.
Cop stash, baby. Yeah.
You got to go full cop stash.
Reno 911.
Yes, sir.
Martin County 911, baby. Yeah, I love that. I did not know that. Well, there you go. Criminals beware. Do not play in Martin County.
Wrong exit.
Engineer Keith was giving us his thoughts on the best phone to use. He said, I know I'm a few days late, but I love my Google Pixel phone. I purchased every model from the start, and there's only one model that was a dud, but their customer service was next level, and they got it fixed really fast. I don't know much about Samsung or Apple products, but I hear good things about Samsung. I just prefer the unadulterated Android experience, and Samsung modifies the OS to work with their hardware. I also buy the phone unlock from Google because some carriers force you to use their distribution of Android, and it can lag behind the latest and greatest. Okay, that's his preference. Virginia talked a bit about butter, and Kelly said, when you talked about it being rated B, A, or AA, where's it located on the label? Because I recently bought quote-unquote fancy butter, but I see no rating on the label. Is this just something that you need to know about the brand?
If I don't see the letters on the label, I don't buy it. Most of them have it, but I have seen some that don't. And if they don't have it, I don't buy it.
Okay.
Most of your butter will have it. So look for the butter that has it, and that's the better butter.
Better butter. Okay.
If they don't have it, then I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? I'm just taking a chance on this. I don't know if you pass the stringent criteria. I want AA butter, bitch.
Okay. Got an email here from somebody says, Kay said, I heard you talking about near-death experiences, so I wanted to share a great podcast all about those with John Burke on the Sean Ryan podcast. It's number 111 if you're looking for it. He's interviewed over 1,500 people and has a couple of books out in detail about individual cases. I believe most are all confirmed by the medical staff as well. John Burke was an engineer who ended up being a pastor and then stepped away from that to focus on just doing these interviews because he felt that that was what he was called to do. Really powerful and uplifting for anyone who is struggling with death or having a bad day, really.
Oh, okay. I love that.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And some other great podcasts that are out there. The Sean Ryan Show also had Father Chad Ripperger, number 285. Title is Signs of the Mark of the Beast and the Rise of the Antichrist. If you want to learn about exorcisms and demons and the occult and people like Epstein who are part of families that are into Baal worship, really, really interesting stuff. Chase Hughes, episode number 253. The title is Real MK Ultra. Documents alien deceptions, simulation theory. He's a 20-year Navy vet who is an expert on human behavior analysis, influence, and persuasion, an expert on psyops and hypnosis. He's been on Rogan as well, but I think this interview is better. Lee Strobel, this is for Kevin, number 265, is the one I saw. You probably know this guy. He's a Christian author and journalist who is just really upbeat and knowledgeable and great to listen to. He's on several episodes of the Sean Ryan Show. Yeah, I've seen many of those. And then he said Jeremiah Johnston on the Tucker Carlson Show. He provides the proof of why the Shroud of Turin is real. This one you really need to watch over just listening. He is on the Sean Ryan Show as well, but I think the Tucker pod was better. Yeah, that one is pretty unreal. I've seen that Jeremiah Johnston on several different podcasts, and he has a little bit different on each and every single one. I don't know if you know what the Shroud of Turin is, but it is what's supposed to be the burial cloth of Jesus. Now, it was out there, and some people talked about it, and then they did some of that carbon dating testing on it, and they're like, it's actually from like the 1200s, so it's kind of bunk. But the thing that had happened was they realized that they had repaired the garment at one point, and they repaired it in the 1200s. And the sample they took to do on the shroud was what they had tested.
The wrong corner, guys.
When they did actual testing on it, it's really wild. It's from the 1st century. It's got pollen from Jerusalem from the 1st century. It follows the whole track of it. It's got the blood of a Semitic man on it who was crucified. They can see that. They can see that he was wearing a crown of thorns.
Wow.
They can see that he was stabbed in the side and that it was post-mortem death. It follows everything exactly as the Bible says about the crucifixion of Jesus. And it's pretty insane because it left a mark on the shroud, and they cannot figure out how this would have been done because they said the intense burst of energy that it would have taken to create this image, we cannot replicate. The energy that it would take, and not to mention too, it didn't burn the cloth at all. It simply did like a 1 millimeter deep image of it. And the thing that's crazy about it was they took the shroud and they were able to come up with a 3D image. In fact, it's my screensaver. And they said, if this truly was Jesus, then that's exactly what he would have looked like. That is the image of a dead Jesus.
Whoa.
On that picture. I'm like, that's pretty wild. So I have that. I'm like, so it's very convincing. I mean, if you watch it and if everything he says
went away.
is legit. Oh, okay. Yeah, it does
Hit the phone again. Hit the phone again.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, so that's it. Real quick view of that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. If you like that stuff, the guy is very convincing. Like I said, I've seen him in 3 different podcasts, and there's a little wrinkle different that you see. It's just additional. It's not that he contradicts himself. It's just a little that he adds something else to it. But yeah, it's pretty nuts. And they say that if you watch the Passion of the Christ and the crucifixion of Jesus there, doesn't even do it justice. Because this man was also flogged in his groin.
Oh.
And that flogger that they had, it would catch the skin and rip it.
Yikes.
Oh my gosh.
It's a brutal thing. And you're just like, whoever was buried in that cloth, they went through one hellacious death that you would not want to go through.
Have you been keeping up with the Noah's Ark stuff at all? That they might have found Noah's Ark? I know it's kind of an older story and people have said this and that, but it seems like there's a few people that go, no, this is it. We've done the research.
There's a site in Turkey, and I have been watching it for a long time. In fact, it's been around since the 80s. There was a guy that was he was discovering all these religious artifacts and whatnot, and he kind of led the charge on it, and he was kind of proven to be a fraud with a lot of his stuff. But there is an earthwork that looks like it's the outline of what could have been Noah's Ark, and it matches the dimensions that they say would have been 300 cubits. And they've done some ground radar penetrating, which they have now, and they say it looks like there's tunnels down there. Now, there's still a lot of geologists that say this wasn't the case, and it wasn't it. So
imagine that. People are disagreeing.
Yeah. So I've done a deeper dive on it, but yeah, there's a lot. So far, I'm pessimistic on that site still because they've done a lot of the research that they've done on it. They're like, there's a lot of different reasons why that would not be the location of Noah's Ark.
And they keep giving us blue balls on it. I mean, like 4 years ago, I remember them talking about, we think we've got it. And then I just saw a guy talking a couple days ago. We know for a fact we finally got it. Mm-hmm. And then 4 years later, okay, we got it, guys. What's the answer then?
That's a lot. I mean, most of the stuff that you're going to see in the Bible or some of those ancient, it's hard to ever find any kind of evidence of it. So, to me, it's either you got to believe it or you don't.
Even with the outfit or the shirt you're talking about.
The shroud.
Yeah, people are going to say, oh, no.
Yeah.
The outfit.
I meant to say shirt.
Yeah, sorry.
That bling bling drip.
The shroud itself, and I'll wait to see, but when that guy goes through it, he pretty much, that Jeremiah Johnston, he really doesn't leave much doubt. And so, yeah, I got to tell you, because I had seen the shroud stuff before, and then when I saw the carbon dating, I'm like, it's not it. But then watching his specials.
He's like, wait a minute.
With everything he's saying right now, if it is all legit and it holds up, which I believe it kind of has so far, it's pretty convincing.
Wow.
It's the most convincing thing I've seen that what they say about Jesus and his crucifixion in the Bible actually happened.
Where is the Shroud of Turin? Who's got it?
It's actually in Turin, and I believe it's the Catholic Church that's holding on to it, but they don't really bring it out anymore because of the wear and tear and everything, just bringing it into the air. So they're trying to preserve
Some
it as much
dummy's
as they
gonna
can.
touch it, and
Well, they wouldn't even let people get close to it, but even the light. It's kind of like if you go see the Declaration of Independence. They have it under low light, and they only bring it out at certain times because just any kind of light, it erodes. And so they're trying to preserve it as long as they can. But eventually, time will take its toll. So that's the way they do with a lot of those things.
It's crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of wild stuff that is going on. Now, you got some interesting stuff happening this weekend. Jen said we got a little reptile show. I know Kev would love this.
I think that's sarcasm.
You can come by the King Reptiles booth that they're going to be having this weekend.
Well, these are our friends.
Are you against?
Jennifer and her son Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm not sure exactly where this is going to be. I don't know if they say. I just want to invite you to the big reptile show this weekend. We're going to be vending at. Doesn't say where it is, I don't think. But anywhere, there's King Reptiles. Also, Michelle's saying they got National Pretzel Day on Sunday. You can go to the Philly Pretzel Factory. They're giving away a free pretzel to everybody that walks in the door from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. A little family friendly.
That's fancy.
Would Fat Kevin like a sweet pretzel or a savory pretzel?
I think I'd probably go savory.
Yeah, me too.
Give me salt. Give me a dipping cheese.
You ever had one of those pretzels with the cheese inside of it?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Like a mozzarella.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yes.
I like a spicy mustard with my soft. I like all kind of different mustards.
Yeah, well, I remember iBar used to have it. It's been a couple years since I got it, but they would give you the spicy mustard, they had the cheese, and then they had a caramel dipping sauce. And I was like, that was a way to do it because you got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
My only knock is some of them, their salt pockets are too salty to a point where you're like, ugh, it's too salty. No.
The salt balance is very crucial.
You got to make sure that you don't have too much salt. It'll make your eyes roll back and not in the good way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got to watch that. Now, Denny said his dad is going to be coming to town, which is going to be great. And one of the questions he had was where he should be taking him to go eat. Now, this is kind of an important thing because, I kind of got my go-to spots. In fact, this happened the other day. My buddy Bert had come in town from Atlanta, and we thought we were going to get him from the airport. It's like, where do you go? And this is the one place I always take somebody, especially if you're closer to the airport. We had some corporate people in town a couple weeks ago, and I take them to Cholo Soy. I'm like, that is the one spot because what I like about it, it's unique to the area. You can't get it anywhere else, but you got to qualify and say, do you like ceviche or tacos?
They're putting a Cholo Soy in the airport. How cool is that?
Right. So, which I think is great because when you land, that's what I love. In Fort Lauderdale, not to knock it, but they'll have like a Chili's or something like that.
Ugh.
And, Chili's you get absolutely everywhere. To me, what you need in an airport, you need the local food. So when you're flying in or out, even if you couldn't make it there, you ever had that happen when you get to a city like New Orleans would be one?
Yes, New Orleans airport has stepped it up with their food.
And they should. And that's where I would say, hey, that's one of those things where you want to have the best of the restaurants. Because let's say you're like, gosh, man, we're running around. I never got to
beignets or a Lucky Dog.
Yeah.
They have them both.
Cafe Du Monde or whatever it might be.
Everything is there.
Go.
Yep.
Yeah.
They have it now in the airport.
That's why I love they're doing that. Now, I'm fascinated by ceviche and how you make it. And so Clay, who he and his wife have done Cholo Soy, he wanted to just kind of come and hang out with us. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Anytime, dude. Because it's an interesting thing where you just take the seafood and I think something's done with lime juice and whatnot. It almost kind of like cooks it. It's like a Peruvian thing.
Citrus marinade.
Yes, right. And that kind of like fires it all up and gets it all fantastic and delicious. So I don't know if Denny's dad is into ceviche, but that would be the one thing. So we'll set up Denny's dad here. Clay's rolling all in. You can tell he's got a portable pack. Coming in ready to go.
How you doing, man?
What's going on, dude?
Welcome to the party. Congratulations on all your success.
Yeah.
Thanks.
How did that get close to that microphone? Pull that on over there for yourself, my friend.
Are we good here?
How'd that come about? How did that invitation go out? Because they've picked some really good places.
We talking about PBI?
Yeah, and I was so excited when I saw they were adding you, and we were just saying how important it is that I think that airports should have a signature place. And whenever anybody's coming in town or heading out of town, I just brought my corporate people by your place. the other day, so.
Shout out corporate. Yeah. He introduced them as corporate. I was like, he's like,
And they hated it. They're like, don't do that. We're not corporate. We're like, we sound like
connotations.
We sound like dicks now. I'm like,
yeah. All good though. But yeah, man, no, it is cool that they do like the local stuff because, like you guys were saying, like if you are like me, I don't buy anything like out and about. I'm too busy eating or drinking or having fun. Then you get there and then you have a bunch of local crap that you can pick up or last minute gifts. So what PBI is doing is they're actually going to have like in the retail, like our hot sauce, but like a bunch of other like local stuff too. So not just like the Palm Beach t-shirt, which in its own right is kind of cool, but like, you know what I mean? So they're going to have all that stuff and then you have the local options, but they're going heavy local. So on all three terminals are going to be like totally different, right? So different companies set all those up. So we're going to be in B with like Rocco's Tacos will be like your 3-meal, like your shot of tequila 6 a.m. burrito. That'll be like that. And then you'll have all this different stuff going on, but you have to have your big names. So you got to have your Starbucks, your Dunkin', you know what I mean? Those are just like recognition.
That everybody knows.
You can't like have something like without that, you
gotta have a little balance.
But they're gonna have a ton of locals, and that's it's gonna be rad. Yeah, happy to be a part of it for sure, and just be a staple in West Palm Beach, right? Like known as a staple. It's like we're almost open 10 years, so it's like damn,
to me
inducted.
That's what I
cool.
think. Yeah, that's what I think is such an honor about that because I know you guys have been featured nationally, but to me that is the one secret. Like if you have Cholo Soy in your hip pocket. I've never taken anybody there that was not massively impressed. And they're like, that is the coolest freaking place. And I look like I'm some freaking genius. Like I know the area so well.
2 years ago, I was having lunch at Cholo Soy with the marketing team from PBI.
Yeah.
And they were like,
I remember,
we can't tell you what's happening to the airport, but you're kind of in it now. And I was like, I'm in it now.
Cryptic messages like, what are you guys doing?
And then all of a sudden it clicked. I was like, you're putting a Cholo Soy in the airport? They're like, shut up.
Yeah, they released that like info. Like it's such a long process. It's already been like 3+ years on our end, just like in these kind of conversations, and then it'll be another one before it like actually pops off or whatever. But yeah, and then there's obviously like a ton of NDA stuff to deal with that or whatever. But yeah, as soon as they made the announcement on social, then we could kind of blast it, and then we made up our own thing. And people are like, yes. I'm like, yeah, maybe 2 years. Like, when's it going down? I'm
2
like,
years,
never.
dude.
I don't know. Hopefully sometime, but probably never. Like as long as the hype is right, I don't really care. It's like whatever.
Now, did they invite you, or was that something where you just had a connection and you said, hey, can we come in?
Just like almost everything that's happened with like all the Food Network stuff and whatever, and I'm not like trying to brag, but like they just like will find some sort of way to hit you up, and it's like one of those calls you get or emails you get, and you're like, this is horseshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're like, this is horseshit, dude. I'm off. I'm like, and I'm just like, okay, let me respond because people are like, franchise now, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
But this guy hit me up and he seemed kind of cool, and I was just like, yeah, cool. Give me some more info. Oh, I'll be in West Palm on this day, and that's when we met up. We went to Civil. We had a couple of beers. The dude was totally legit. He had a food industry background. He explained to me the whole process, which I'm not going to bore you with, but I was just like, oh, okay, cool. So we're going to be in the airport. That's rad. Let's do this. And then, just 6-month time frames, email. Hey man, didn't forget, and then and I'm like, okay, and then here we are again in another 6-month time. These guys run the whole situation. Maybe 3-4 companies basically do all the airports in North America. Canada, United States.
Right.
They do all the F&B retail, food and beverage retail, and all that stuff. So yeah, it's like a massive bunch of red tape. And imagine building at your house in freaking wherever, let alone
in an airport,
the security clearance and all that.
Oh gosh.
So it just takes forever, man. It just takes forever. So, but we're looking forward to it.
How did the Food Network stuff come in? And all those
the beginning of my time with Instagram, 2014-ish, like I was like looking to like some of the front of the house guys out in Wellington at another spot I was out at the time. And I was like getting Instagram and like chef this, chef that, and hashtags. They had to teach me about all that. And like, no, you got to hashtag, this and that. And then you got to hashtag Food Network and you got to do this and that. And I'm like, yeah, we'll do that. And so I like within like 2 months of like, the Instagram world to me, I had like the Food Network reaching out via DM, like on my iPhone 4, or whatever, or 4, 4.5, or 5, or whatever it was. And like, I was like, okay, again, like, fuck, this isn't fucking serious, dude. You know? And they're like, yo, we want to see if you want to be on this show, Cutthroat Kitchen. I don't watch these shows, dude. They're the dorkiest thing ever, you know? And I was like, but yeah, cool, let's do it. And then it was like a Skype interview, you know? Like Skype doesn't even really. It was like a Skype interview. And this wasn't even that long ago. I mean, I guess it was 10, 11 years ago, 12. No, longer. Shit.
Damn, huh?
So anyway,
no, bitch.
So, dude, yeah. I was probably late 20s, like early 30s at that point in time.
Yeah.
So anyways, but yeah, and then it just like they interviewed me, just like a similar situation to this, and I was just talking trash, just like I would be right now. And they're like, okay, we'll call you back, and then that's it. They're like, okay, cool, you're coming out to LA to do this show, to do that show. That was Cutthroat Kitchen. That was the first one, and then like killed that. They like did another one, went out, did another 2 episodes, and then they did another one. So and actually between the time that I left my restaurant group job and opening Cholo, I had won enough to float me and got the check through that time. So it like floated me through the period and it was just like all serendipitous.
That's great,
and
dude.
Just heaven sent, dude. And I was just like, holy
when it's
shit.
supposed to happen,
dude, this was the coolest. And
way.
then the episodes aired as soon as we opened or right before, and so the momentum was just insane. So like I don't know that I could reproduce that again. Like, oh, another location. It's like, yeah, for sure, let's do another location or whatever. But like, yeah, timing, okay, yeah, location, but like timing, location, everything is like a 1-2 is like, you can't really, like, you can pay for that to happen to some extent, but this was like another deal. So yeah.
Food angels.
After the Food Network meeting, how long did it take for them to hit you up and say, we want you?
It was quick. Food Network was quick because those dudes are like nothing but business. They got to bang out a whole season of shit in like X amount of time. And, you know, out there, like when you're in the studio or whatever, and then it's like lunch break, you know, it's all like union stuff. And it's just, they're nothing but business, dude. It's a sick operation they run, but it's quick. But they were quick and then serious, and it was just like it was on it. So I think probably like 3-4 months I was actually there doing the ep, and you couldn't talk about it. They might air it, but then they give you, hey, we're gonna air it. You know, we're gonna do this.
You know what happened with Bar Rescue? They go, we might air it, but we don't know yet.
Yeah,
we'll let you know.
You can't talk about what happened.
Yeah, they always put that like, oh well, there's a chance that this might not air in case they're like this episode's trash or somebody leaks it, and then they're like, yeah, they scrap it or something like that. I think Triple D was the same. We did that show too. But yeah, man, it's just been like, and how did they do it? Same thing. They called the restaurant, and I was like, the guy answers, oh yeah, Triple D just called. I'm just like, dude, no, they didn't, bro. They don't call like the Cholo Soy like phone number. Like, you know, it's like nobody calls this number except people that don't order online. Like that's it. And it was, dude, and it was. And like the same thing happened with the first time Martha Stewart pulled through, Relevant, sort of. We were closed way back in the day between like 2 and 5 when I was still figuring everything out, right? Martha Stewart comes up, shaking the door. The guy, shout out Eves. He doesn't work with us anymore, but this isn't the reason. He's just like,
he's waving her off.
He's literally just like, yo, like you gotta go.
Sorry, lady.
Dude, and then she luckily came back, and she's not, I wouldn't say a regular because you'd have to come frequently, but every year when she's, you know, perusing about, you know,
she does. She makes a little pop. She goes to the green market.
Yeah, she has her routine. And one of our neighbors' sisters is really good friends with her, and that's how that connection came about. Okay. I was like, all right, Mommy Martha, let's go. So that was cool. But yeah, so that was a habit. So just a bunch of funny crap. And I mean, you manufacture yourself some of that luck, right? Just by like staying
you started the ball rolling, but then, you know, when people try it, then it's got to live up to the word of mouth. And people, that's the one thing that I realized with restaurants, and I think that's why all these food influencers are doing so well, is that people want to find cool little restaurants, because you feel like you're a smart dude when you recommend something. People are like, oh my gosh, that is the coolest little place. And you guys have the perfect, how you've cultivated everything, even finding the location, because it's a little tricky to find. You could easily zip past it. But when you find it, you're like, holy shit, this is like the best place ever. The little patio you have out back, and how you've done the murals and the music.
We just
everything.
got a new floor done in it just yesterday. They finished it up like some sick, like a pocket. There's always something going on to like keep things tight and nice and like fresh, and like especially like 10 years. What else do you do? Like, you know, like it drains my creative side because I'm so busy like keeping up with shit, like just like keep it like, yo, dude, this, that, the aesthetic, the you know, and like there's just so much to do, you know, like as a chef, it's like chef is like like you show up in your sleep and you're just making cool food, like that's like the easiest thing you could do, but like making sure that you're presentable every time you want, you're like, dude, I know, you know, just say a name, Kevin's coming in with some people that people like to cut. I really want this to look tight, but I think about that every day, like every day something's on the floor, I'm like, dude, we gotta have this thing looking tight in case and that person could be literally just a regular person, which is everybody really, but like I just want them to be like, yeah, okay, cool, man, they really keep up with it, you know. But
that's the attitude you have, and I don't see that. I go into so many places and you can tell that they've mentally lapsed. They don't have that fear every single day. And look, I have the same thing with radio, because I'm like, what if somebody's rolling through town that could change our career or be that influential person, and we just dialed it in that day or phoned it in?
Totally.
And it sucks. It's the same thing for you, and I think the same thing with restaurants, because if somebody has a bad experience,
you know, like places like, you know, I mean, I've got my takeout place that like hasn't changed a freaking dime, dude. On my sushi place, dude, my whatever place out in like Wellington, like I've got my places that like they don't have to, you know, that's fine, but like if you're like standing the test of time in a real way in a real area, you know, like you're, you know, like your cool restaurants, you know, like your spots that you guys talk about, like Jupiter too, and wherever, and like even if you look at like, you know, a Beats Pizza or whatever, or like if you're looking for a new
oven,
or Sicilian oven, or like what, like any of these places, because I have both of those. I have both of those places out in Wellington, and I've had both of those places, and then we have like a new place that I tried that's like a more independent, and I'm like, oh, this is great, but you're always like, you know, just like kind of like looking for something new, and then cost is always going to be an issue these days too. Right. So it's like, not only am I charging a fucking $100, I can curse on there.
Yeah.
Not only am I charging $100 for a taco, you know, but you know, and then what? You don't get like the service, and then you got a tip, and then you get a fee, and then a credit card fee, and then the least that you can do now is like to keep up with all that is give people like a nice place to be, a nice ambiance, and good experience, even if like, you know, the service isn't like, you know, a 10 out of 10, because it doesn't really require that to just drop off a plate, pick it up, ask how are you, and then go. But like, there's so much involved. It's like you got to give them a decent place to be, and like feeling nice and clean, but like homey and not too sterile.
So much goes into it, man.
Yeah,
it really is.
And again, man, just, you know, keeping people in there with the pricing these days, dude, and being like, but then again, they're like, oh, so, and I hear it all the time. I'm just like, yeah, dude, like, you know, and then, but to your point, they have it, and then they're like, oh, damn, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
The majority of the time, I'd say, because, you know, you're always going to, you know, miss the mark somewhere. But, like, you know, you get in there, like, just happened yesterday. They're like, yeah, okay. And then they were back the next day after this whole family was, like, griping about whatever. The guy brought somebody else back the next day and was just like, yo, I got to have this again. And I'm just like, okay, so, you know, I'm not being ridiculous. I just want to do what we need to do to make everybody, you know.
Now, I always have to get the ceviche when I'm in there. And
I've noticed.
I know. I always love the talk. I love everything.
I've been wanting to do this for a minute, so we got like just break the code. It's not that serious. You know?
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm just fascinated with how you make it, because you guys do something different. I've had ceviches that are not even close in the same ballpark. Where's the recipe come from? What is like the secret to making phenomenal ceviche?
Yeah, but so again, you know, they're gonna hang me, you know, on this or whatever, you know. So there's so many, like, there really is so many different types, and then you have your traditional and classic, and then you have like your like modern takes. You know, there's always a modern take on something, you know. So just to talk about ours, right? And then you have, you know, the citrus marinade, right? So when you think ceviche, you think about white fish in citrus, that the acid of the citrus cooks the fish, right? And then you take said fish and then you mix it with a number of ingredients, and that's ceviche, right? And for the most part, that is Peruvian style ceviche. That's a very Japanese thing in the culture, you know. Japan went to Peru, and then I think that's their origins of that.
Japan went to Peru.
Yeah, there's a lot of Japanese in Lima, particularly, and so that is the root of ceviche, the trail of ceviche. I have a really cool book by one of the most like serious authorities of the subject, again, and that's kind of like where it goes, right? Because if you look at Peruvian style food, you get a lot of this like sushi-esque stuff. Their ceviche is diced, lightly marinated fish with the onions and the chilies and stuff. So anyways, bumping up to our style, which is I call like sort of Ecuadorian. So we poach the shrimp first at Cholo Soy. The majority of the shrimp ceviches, the Ecuadorian shrimp ceviche, you poach the shrimp first, right? And then typically they use a little bit of that poaching liquid in there. I don't, just because I don't want to save that. We poach our shrimp and we use it for a variety of things at the restaurant. But you take shrimp cocktail, essentially, you know, with little shrimp. And then what we do is just toss it in fresh lime and orange juice, shaved onion, cilantro, salt, and then peppers, pickled peppers that we have, you know? So then you get just a fresh, crisp. So this isn't like a, oh, is it marinated? Is it raw? It's like, no, it's literally poached shrimp so that you have that crisp bite on the texture. Because if you put shrimp in like lemon or lime and orange, like some of the Mexican style ceviches, they'll do that. It's all good. Or like pickled ceviches, or pickled shrimp is like a southern United States dish type of thing. And it's just like, it's cool, but it's a different texture. Right. It's not like that bouncy, like shrimp cocktail, you know, you get it and you're like, oh, nice. Our ceviche is that. Right. And that's not a unique thing to us, you know. And so that's really the trick, because what I find is when you toss it together to order, and you keep everything cold, right? I keep the mixing bowl and the spoon cold, the juice cold, not even on top of the fridge, dude. I'm talking everything under it. The bowl's cold. The shrimp everything is inside of the refrigerator as it comes out, and then it goes right back in. So I want everything just like as cold as possible. Like I brought you guys some, it's like on ice. It has to be cold, like rule 1, you know?
Love it.
Yeah, so we mix it to order instead of making like a batch. Now, my wife, I wish she would be here. She's at a doctor's appointment. You know, but anyways,
the nerve of her.
I know, right? And it's one of those like ones that you schedule a year out, you know, and you fucking miss it, and it's just like, yeah. So, but anyway, so she likes it like later or the next day, because when it marinates, it does absorb the flavor and it's good. But too many days, then it gets too much of that, it overcooks, and it's just not fresh. The onions aren't crisp anymore. I like the shaved red onion and everything. The cilantro, I like it like a drenched salad, like in that sense.
Isn't
You know
your
what I mean?
Cajun food kind of like that? You always say that it's better on a certain day.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I love. Well, I mean, a gumbo or something like that is always better the
without a
second
doubt.
day.
Every soup
This is a little different.
Yeah, it is. It is, but in the same sense, like, you know, it does kind of get that other flavor profile, but we just like to toss it to order at the restaurant, because then that way, you know, you can, every individual ingredient like is just going to be fresh. You don't have to like wonder, oh, how's it doing day 3?
Right.
You
Diminishing
know?
returns.
Like, how's it doing day 3? You know, then we're in, did the guys make fresh ceviche? Because back in the day where I kind of had my origins, like, you would make like a bucket of grouper ceviche, and it just like, you know, and then when I went out and then I like learned what ceviche was about, I was like, no
more buckets
I was
for
like
me.
I was like, no, this is not the move.
How
you know?
long do you poach it, and what's that liquid you poach it in?
So depending on the size of the shrimp, you know, but I use these like little ones like that, you know. So for ones like that, it takes about, like, you get a boiling water, lemon, salt, bay leaf, you know, some peppercorn if you have it around. Bring it to a boil, and then I put the shrimp in there, and then I turn it off, and then I just let it sit there, and then, like, let's say, I don't know, 2 minutes, minute and a half, 2 minutes, because you don't want it to be like overcooked, because then they get small and like kind of like too bouncy, and then you can just kind of like tell they're pink and look cooked, you know, and then you do
it by eye, not time.
Yeah, if I had to put a time on it for the guys, I'd say at 1.5. But the thing is there's such a variety, and are you cooking it right from like a frozen? Because the reality is the shrimp, some of the freshest shrimp is frozen. Does that make sense? Like, so like that's just like, if you like your shrimp that you're getting, like high quality stuff, it's like chances are it's like not fresh from like Jupiter per se, you know. So like if you're getting a decent quality shrimp or whatever, if the shrimp is frozen or whatever it is, you know, these markets, you know, they kind of like fool you thinking that nothing is ever frozen or never frozen or something like that, because the reality is
I've always heard that line, fresh never frozen, and that's a big
yeah it is. Or like it'll say fresh, and then underneath it'll say like in parentheses that, like, you know, your go-to market, like previously frozen or whatever. And so the stigma for me, frozen or whatever, I would rather get a bunch of like awesome fresh shit and freeze it and have it for 2 months to serve my customers in a fish taco, like literally off of Jupiter fresh fish, and then like pack it and freeze it myself and have that fish for like, you know, a month or so. It never is going to last that long just because we're so busy, but like I'd rather have that than like leave it up to chance by like, you know, your kind of like mass fishmonger or whatever. So let's say your shrimp is frozen, you drop it in the water, it could be an extra minute or something like that, because you can cook it right from frozen. Just
Yeah.
dump it right in there. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Now, the combo that I love is you've got Fresh by Civil Society. It's in there. It's
Yeah. And I want to tell you that I brought some beer and margaritas in the deal, and I didn't know how we were going to be, so I just brought it anyways. But like, I was pouring you a Fresh.
Yeah.
And the keg blew, and I was like, fuck this. I'm not changing this keg. Dude, I was like, not for them, not for nobody, dude. It was like 10 a.m. and like I was not clocked in, dude. And I was just like, and it made a mess, and like I barely cleaned it up. I'm like, 10 a.m. opener's gonna have to deal with this problem, bro. I don't want nothing to do with this shit, dude.
Don't worry about it.
I was like, no, he's gonna have to have a lager today.
Well, we got a
man.
cocktail. I mean, maybe we could crack one real quick.
Yeah. I've got
It's Friday, right?
It's
I
Friday.
checked.
I cannot. But,
Yeah. Bird, you don't have to. That's all right. I'll have
Guys,
yours for you.
margarita or lager, or what do you want?
I want a margarita.
Let's go.
I do too. Yeah, we'll make it easy. Let's go margaritas because they got
You guys
that.
going
as,
salt
well.
or no? I got the whole
Salt
kit.
me.
Let's do it. Yeah, why not?
Why not?
I have a shrimp question.
Shoot.
How long can you keep shrimp in the freezer? Let's say you have all this shrimp. When does it go bad? When are you like, oh, we gotta get rid of this shit?
Well, really, so like if it was fresh, like super fresh and then frozen, that's the time to just keep it in there. But if you keep pulling it out and pulling it back and pulling it out and pulling it back, but dude, it never lasts that long with me. But like, let's say like, especially in the restaurant, but like at home, let's say I leave a bag of shrimp in there. What'll happen is it'll start to get frostbite if you don't pack it correctly.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I wouldn't know either. I put it in the freaking bag or saran wrap, throw it in
I don't know
there.
the official time, but dude, I'm guessing a year, maybe.
Okay, wow.
Like, dude, like a packed, solid packed block of shrimp, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
a year, huh?
Dude, I don't know.
Right.
None of your food would last that
Nation
long.
Hell no. They're
Because you
gonna
go
be like,
through
he
it.
said no. And it's like,
Right.
whatever.
I'm
you know?
talking like one of them dire situations. You're like, oh man, shrimp, we got that shrimp here still.
Oh.
It's 18 months old though. It's been frozen. It was brand new.
No, the zombie apocalypse
Yeah,
hits, bro, and you're good. You're good. I mean, just think about the shit they do with shrimp. Those like weird little dried ones, dude. Have you ever had one of those?
That's
nasty
true.
little
Yeah,
things?
freeze dry.
Yeah, and like not even just freeze dried, but yeah, like the Asian style ones that flavor broth and
Dehydrated.
stuff.
Yeah.
Smell them now. Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
little.
but you can keep it in there
stinky.
for a minute, dude. I don't know the real answer, but all right, here we go. This is like a.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, yeah, you got a
It's a
little
jar of margarita.
margaritas. I'm kind of curious with the style that you have at Cholo Soy, because the ambiance, that's the one thing that I love. I walk into a place and I don't know if I could construct it myself, but I know when I see it. Is that all your style? Did you do research on that? How did you
Man,
because-
so you would think that like there's places out there that I'm sure that they have like tested this shit and talked about it, right?
Yeah.
And whatever. But the reality is my house looks just like that.
That's
Does it
awesome.
really? Wow.
That's your style. It's
Yeah,
unique and it's original.
The reality
and it's
is
you.
my house looks just like that, and you know, my wife plays it enormous. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that she plays such a huge role in just like my like furnished aesthetic now, because like if I was single, like I just wouldn't be doing laundry. I wouldn't care what I slept on or whatever. And she doesn't understand that we're fine with that, like there's those memes. But no, my wife has a big part of that. But yeah, man, all the posters in Cholo Soy are from an Ecuadorian artist, a local artist, or a one-off limited edition band press.
Yeah.
That I got somewhere. Film stuff. We called a guy in Brooklyn that did the illustrations for this film that our friend produced. He's like, dude, I happen to have one more. I'll just send it to you. I think I sent him $60 for it before we opened.
Oh,
So
nice.
this is all like a
So
lot
you're
of.
kind of always on the hunt, though, to find
Dude,
something.
I
that-
just brought some over. I just hit up a friend in Southern California that owns a record shop. I was like, hey, I need some of these cool like cumbia, like old school sonadero posters. He's like, how many you need? I'm like, 3. He's like, dude, I got it, dude. I'll send it to you. Like, whatever. And I'm like, just tell me like how much, I'll be down in Ecuador at the end of May. We spend quite a bit of time there. And it's just like friends that are doing art, design, pumping out illustrations, pumping out cool stuff, dude. My place there is like full of that stuff, and then I bring back some of the posters, and then we'll bring some more back to Cholo. 6 months ago, I just took everything off the wall and went back up with more framed stuff. Yeah, the only thing is, everything costs so much more in America. It sucks, but it is what it is, like, framing and just getting nice stuff, so.
I think Rocco's kind of done the same thing. and talking to him, how he's come up with all the cool stuff that he's got in all his different Rocco's Tacos. And you know what it reminds me of is, you know how musicians and they do the album cover and it's art on top of art.
Yes.
100%.
And that's what 100%. I think a great restaurant is. It's art on top of art. The food is the base, and that's like the music, like a musical artist. But you go in and the artwork, the music that you play, the music you play out there too, and you have the DJ, it fits the aesthetic of Cholo Soy so well. I can't. Which I think you gotta have it all.
All the senses. I like that it touches all the senses. Yeah. You're seeing, you're tasting, you're feeling.
It's always like, even in my youngest moments. Yeah, brother.
Oh, get it. Oh, yeah. Get it. Cheers, big ears. Yeah.
So even in my youngest days, that's why I said, like, even in high school, like, or whenever I knew I wanted to be a chef, I was just like, yeah, culinary is like the only thing that hits everything, right? And only really when you own the whole vibe can you like put that across, right? Can you say, okay, cool, like, I can make the art and make everything kind of, and it wasn't like a coincidence, but we also didn't have to think too hard about it, right? And so it makes me super happy to hear when people recognize the vibe, because that's what we want, something cozy, something easy. You don't want it feeling like too corporate, because that's the thing you said. You're talking about album art. It's like, dude, with the, I get AI is a very useful tool, especially like, in business and things like that, but when it comes to like, like album art or like something creative, it's like, dude, you have artists making these out. So like, and then the album, and when you collect vinyl, like I do, you take out the slip, and then they have like a fucking poster in there from that artist.
Right, yeah,
it's
wild.
All this
it just
stuff,
adds to it. To me, a restaurant.
It sucks when restaurants skimp on that, because then like you said, it feels just like the album. The album probably sucks, dude. It's just like it's like a corporate ass,
Well, you can tell somebody's poured their soul into it. And everything that you've said to me is you've poured your soul into this, and every single day you still do. You look at every little angle about Cholo Soy, and it really is. When you go into a great restaurant, you're like, the owners have poured their soul into this. Half of it's the food, but half of it's the ambiance and everything else that's around it. And it's that little attention to details.
That's gonna make me blush over here, man. That's great.
Well, I just
you deserve it.
It's unique, and there's only there's a handful of places that just stand out to that level that you're so proud to take your friends to, and you're excited to be like, if they love ceviche or tacos or anything that you guys serve there at Cholo Soy, they're gonna have an amazing experience.
Love that.
And it never misses the mark. It really does.
That.
So
dope.
I'm very happy you came in and.
Yeah, same. It's been, like I said, I want to crack this. You still never had ceviche, Bert?
I have not. No.
You have not, dude?
I would drink and I would eat. I have a doctor's appointment where I'm giving blood today. So I know. That's why I'm such a choir boy.
This is whack, dude.
We got to do a better job. We got to schedule your wife better.
Then you know what we have to do? I got these little to-go containers, these little ones. We'll break him off with the little 8-ouncer.
Okay,
and you
take
it, pack it up, take some chips, bro, eat it at home.
I love it.
Just to say that, and I brought like a bunch of swag for everybody. There's like sun shirts and bags and a bunch of hot sauce and stuff in there. So
and even your shirts are badass. They're really cool. I've got several Cholo Soy shirts, and
you've been collecting for a while.
I have,
but you've had like a fitness like weight like journey. So like the shit that used to like you don't see him rocking the same stuff. Like he has one of these like first edition baseball tees he used to rock on the show or whatever.
I still do every now and then. But it's like I need to probably.
So is it big or small?
It's a little bit tighter.
He used to be a big back bitch.
We were talking earlier today. You look swole in that shirt right there.
I know.
Are you getting back to big?
No, I'm not doing with it. But I will tell you honestly, dude, hormones. That having that testosterone, it's such cheating because I'm not doing anything at all. A few push-ups, a few pull-ups a week. And that's it, and it just kind of keeps you a little naturally swole.
Yeah, a lot of dudes at the gym they talk about that stuff that are like my age and older. I haven't tapped into it yet, but God, they talk about it all the time.
It's freaking legit.
It's the stuff that you guys like push on the show too, like the TRT, whatever it is, and
it works.
It's good to have, and it should be banned by baseball because it's so unfair.
Yeah,
it really is.
If you're here just to look good like that,
and have good energy,
it's not banned by radio.
No, you're right.
It should be more enforced.
Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah, dude, but no, I haven't. With the amount of supplements and different shit that like I take all the time, and the guys are like, "No, dude, you got to get on it, bro." It's like, like, I gained 20 pounds. I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't. I was like,
Right.
I don't want that, dude. Because I don't like lift like that anymore. I'm more like functional.
I
and I'm
stopped
just
doing
like,
it because I thought that's all it was. It's just, I'm like, I don't care about being swole. But then as I, got into it, and they said, no, it's not.
the levels.
Well, it's really just about having good energy.
Yeah.
You'll sleep better.
100%.
You just feel like a better version.
Totally.
It gets rid of the brain fog. Like everything I sell, it is legit.
No, for sure. And like I take dude, more magnesium, like to supplement my day and night vitamin packs, dude. I like more magnesium, reishi mushrooms right now, dude. Like
crazy.
the sleep and the recovery, it's like such a problem. I can't drink. I can't drink during the week on a school night. I can't drink. I'm up at like 5 a.m. I literally don't drink. Like this is like mega cheating for me. Like I'll have like some drinks tonight, whatever, go out, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I look forward to it, but during the week, just no way. A beer will put me over. Like, dude, like it'll put me over, and then I'm groggy, and then I sleep like trash, and then you just got to do all this shit to feel. Dude, what is it that I'm drinking in my second coffee of the day? The fucking peptides with the collagen, collagen in my coffee, bro. And
you
I'm
can
just
go a little
like,
crazy. Yeah,
I mean,
so
dude, I'm
much
on
stuff.
it all. I'm doing it all, dude. I'm doing it all. But like, I'm constantly, not only do you have like, a job, like not only do you have a job, you're like, you got your kids, dude, you got your wife, you're talking about energy, dude, you got to keep up that momentum. You got to, it's like, oh, cool, the gym and the jujitsu at night or doing this volunteering time. Like, it's like, dude, I'm like on the go. I probably work though, it's just like, dude, there's just so much going on, that you have to sustain this energy. And like, unfortunately, like alcohol during the week is just not,
killer.
It's just not a part of it, dude. And I, like I get it, and it sucks for the industry. Like people are like, it sucks for, sales and
It's down.
profit margins.
Yes.
But like, dude, it's so true, especially when you get, now I can't speak for like Gen Z and the younger kids. I think they're just a bunch of dweebs, they're just a bunch of fucking dorks. Shout out to my Gen Zers, you dweebs. Go outside. Crash a car. No, I'm just kidding. but we've all have, so I don't see But no, you know what I mean, man. It's like they're not vibing as hard as we are, and and it shows. It shows.
Dude, I love talking Cholo Soy. I loved hearing everything that went into it because you can see it. And like I said, I'll throw out the recommendation. It'll be one of those places. Denny's trying to find good places to take his dad. Would you throw out another recommendation? If somebody else is saying, okay, I got to bring a dad into town, Clay, other than your place, Cholo Soy.
Straight up, dude, if your dad's never been here, take him straight to ER Bradley's to the waterfront and just do the whole West Palm thing. And just do it. And just do it and just do it. If I had, we've been having, obviously, due to like, just the different shit that's going on, but this is something that like anybody from out of town, or if we want to feel like a tourist or a local, or if we want to do something that we don't do all the time, because I don't go to Bradley's all the time, but I've been a million times.
Right.
You know, and I'll go because there is not another single place left in this whole stupid county, maybe south in Lantana or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that.
You gonna make me rant
Key
again?
Limehouse.
No, dude, it's the shit, dude. And we were just having this conversation at there. So yeah, I would go to Cholo Soy one day, and then Bradley's for drinks and whatever food. There's always music. There's always people. The people, even busy as hell, they're friendly as hell. The vibe has never changed. The owner's legacy bleeds through with the kids and the family. And I
know how the Caniglios run it. They run it like you run Cholo Soy.
100%. And I,
you see it.
Truth be told, I got my actual I've been working since I was 12, but I got my actual literal first real professional opportunity there at Bradley's. They hired me, and then I went to Cucina where I wanted to work. And on New Year's Day, because a bunch of dudes were hungover, and I went there, they gave me a job 2 months after I started there. Like, I suck as a waiter. I fucking hate people. I'm the worst customer service. Like, I don't care about you at all, like type of thing. And dude, and so I went straight to the kitchen at Cucina and got my start. So I've been working with those guys. And even now we're friends. We're doing an event at the end of May, over at the Cove, dude. Like, so
that's
I'm constantly in there.
And that's a great place too. The Cove's fantastic.
I met my wife at Cucina. If it weren't, and they talk about how tons of people meet there at Bradley's, not to turn this into a pity party for like all the annoying things that are going on for them. But like, we met there, we got married at one of their spots, and then I was with those guys forever. And Yeah, so it's always going to be a special place to bring people from out of town for me, like no matter what, you know.
Awesome.
For sure.
All right, Clay. Always good having you. Go
Thank
check
you,
them out
guys.
on
Thank you.
Dixie and West Palm
Yes.
Beach.
Thank you for the
Appreciate
treats.
you, man.
Yeah,
A lot of fun. man.
Cheers.
A lot of fun.
Cheers.
All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging on.
Empty water.
You guys have a fantastic weekend. I will see you back here on Monday. Goodbye.